Now we're going to get into a section about the dispensing guidelines and parameters that customers should look for when selecting dispense equipment.
When it comes to dispensing thermal gels and putties, there's a lot of tips and tricks as well as considerations to take into account, all of which can be found in our thermal interface material dispensing guide. One of the things that you see here on the slide are dispensing patterns and what they look like before and after compression. It's important to think about this as you need to know what gaps are going to look like and how much space you want to take up after the gel is compressed. Callie, what are some other dispense considerations?
There are a few other important parameters to consider as you're looking at your part to dispense onto. First and foremost, the part needs to be cleaned off prior to dispensing any sort of gel material down. So free of FOD, and it can be cleaned off with a simple IPA or a solvent solution. Second, it's also important to make sure the surface has proper surface roughness. This will not only help the material wet out and have better thermal performance against the part itself, but it'll also help for long-term reliability. And one of the other important aspects is to consider the dispensing technique, which we'll get into a little bit more in terms of what type of equipment to select, but also just the shot size repeatability and how to apply the material down onto a part.
Callie, it's also important to note that our gels and putties come in a variety of different packages that can be provided based on the optimal dispensing, right?
That's right. We offer sample small 10 cc manual syringes that customers can use just to sample and test onto their parts. But then from a manufacturing standpoint, we offer syringes from 30 cc syringes up to 20-ounce cartridges and even in 1 and 5 gallon pails for larger applications.
There are a few different levels when it comes to the dispensing equipment, ranging in cost as well as the different specific applications that they're meant for, each of them having specific pros and cons. Callie, can you talk about the lowest cost level of dispensing equipment?
Sure. So customers can purchase a manual shot size controller, which ranges anywhere from $400 to $2,000. And these are relatively inexpensive systems that sit on the tabletop, and an operator can manually apply materials through the syringe onto a part just simply using air pressure. But Ben, why would someone want to use the next level up or have a higher expense when purchasing their dispense equipment?
Yeah, the next level is typically referred to as a tabletop dispenser or a robotically controlled dispenser. While the cost is a little bit higher, and there is some setup and material changeover time required between runs, the pros are that you can typically work with more complex geometries and get more repeatability in terms of the control of the robotic dispensing of the gels on specific parts. This means you can swap out boards and in general limit the amount of time it takes to dispense each part. Callie, what about the next level up, the one that's a little bit more expensive than that, but gives obviously more advantages?
Yeah, so these robotically controlled systems are really going to be much more cost prohibitive compared to the lower end models that we just discussed, but they come with great advantages. So instead of having a time pressure system where your shot size variation is not as tightly controlled as you wish, you can purchase systems that actually come with a precise valve that will help in controlling your shot size variation. So these systems are typically geared towards your larger cartridge sizes or your 1 or 5 gallon pails and used in high volume automation. So these systems typically come with sensors on the part itself that you have producer recognition. You can weigh the parts, the material dispensed on each part, and have better control of your system.
Callie, when you mention high volume manufacturing, what type of volumes are you typically looking at for those precision valve and pump systems?
These are typically systems where customers are dispensing 5 or more days per week on multiple shifts. So you could consider these being more like your 10,000 parts per year or greater than that. Here's a video showing Gel 30 being dispensed from a precision valve in a variety of different patterns. This is one of the most popular products that Chomerics offers and has been used in the market for over 10 years now.
So, what can we do for you?